Hello, thanks for being in a new video. We continue touring the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, and we've arrived with Techno that presents us with a series of 4 devices. It is the TECNO Camon 40 series, so join me to know it. Let's get started. So let's start with this one, which is the TECNO Camon 40 Premier 5G. This, let's say, is the highest of this series. As you realize, it has a very similar design to what we see in the high-end of various devices, but with this two-tone cover and also with a kind of notification LED at the top, which could also be an important distinctive when we talk about design. It comes with a small ring surrounding the camera, textured, but it is nothing extra, simply an aesthetic detail. We are going to find a very good quality screen. Without a doubt, we are talking about an AMOLED panel that is going to offer us 144 Hz in its refresh rate, confirming us that this is a device that seeks to compete in the market. A high segment. Of course it will have stereo sound, and with respect to the camera, we find 50 megapixels all over the place. So we have 50 megapixels for the front camera, and also 50 megapixels for the rear camera, for the ultra-wide camera, and it also includes 50 megapixels telephoto camera, so 50 megapixels everywhere. And I think the result is positive without a doubt. Let's see what is the maximum zoom that allows us this device, and as you realize is 100x, definitely. That would be a little bit of a forced zoom, but notice how, for example, in 25x, it could give us a perfectly satisfactory result when trying to take this type of photographs. It is not the most advanced, it is not a completely flagship device, but it is the top of the Camon 40 series. Note that it can record in 4K at 60 frames per second as maximum quality, in this case with the main camera, also with the ultra-wide camera, and also with the telephoto camera. Tremendous surprise. Although while you're recording, it does not allow you to make the dynamic switching between cameras with this resolution, but well, it is an advance that is available in each of the lenses, this level of resolution. And with respect to the front camera, we also find 4K with 60 frames per second as the maximum quality. We found 7.7 millimeters thick, and note that it comes with an additional button on this left side that surely will serve to map some things. For example, in this case in the form of... In fact, it also comes with an interesting feature that several manufacturers are integrating that helps you capture movements in a much better defined way, so that the photos do not appear with any kind of sweep or anything. Like that, so it is a device that is very interesting in that aspect. The device has a battery capacity of 5,100 mAh with support for 70 watts charging, which is good for this range and regarding the processor. Let me see, because we will find the MediaTek Dimensity 8350, a processor that I had not heard implemented in any device. So it is probably the only or one of the few devices that integrates this processor. We would have to test it later, but it looks like a good competitor for the range in which it will be. Because Techno usually puts much tighter prices than, even though it has features that bring it closer to a very high segment, the price will surely be more contained. And as you realize, these are some of the colors available for this Premier model, by the way, also brings artificial intelligence functions as its own assistant. Some daily summary to greet you in the mornings, also to recognize text on screen with 2 fingers, translator, documents assistant. It also comes with an AI notes app that allows you to change your scribbles into a much more complex drawing. And as you can see, it has many more things. Also a wallpaper generator with artificial intelligence, an enhancer of videos and all the content you see, and finally also circle to Google search. In this case, simply by holding down on the home button. So we see that circle to search increasingly reaches more devices, and there we have it. But let's go now with the following models. This is the TECNO Camon 40 Pro, then it is a step below. Although curiously integrates curved screen, unlike the Premier model that comes with a flat screen finish, however, we will also find an AMOLED screen, in this case also with 144 Hz in its update rate. It looks very good quality in that aspect. Now, with respect to the cameras, note that we are going to find 50 megapixel front camera, also like his brother. And the funny thing is that in this case, if you have autofocus, unlike many mid-range devices that come with fixed focus front cameras, then that would also be one of the benefits. And on the back, we will find a 50 megapixel main camera and an 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera. In this case, it abandons the 3 high-resolution sensors that we saw in the Premier model, betting on a slightly simpler configuration. In this case, we will find 7.209mm thick, so it is a relatively thin device. It comes with 256 gigabytes of storage and 16 gigabytes of RAM, and its processor is the MediaTek Dimensity 7300. So with the processor, you realize that they have trimmed down for sure to adjust the cost of the device so that it is not so expensive, but definitely full. Still, a good number of users could give sufficient performance, but it's not going to be a beast in power. The battery, by the way, has a capacity of 5,200 mAh and supports charging 45 watts via cable. In addition, it also has this little element that will help us as a kind of notification. Let's give a quick glance. It also has stereo sound and also brings all these artificial intelligence features to the mid-range. Possibly also be another attractive factor for your purchase. It also includes generative artificial intelligence functions within its image editor, for example AI Eraser, which is going to allow us to, let's say, remove people. For example, we're going to try to eliminate her here and we're going to set her to start. Obviously, that could generate unexpected results, but let's see why it will use generative artificial intelligence. So it will somehow try to figure out how to fill out that gap that is left at the time of removing this person. And wow, it's done very well, honestly, although it also removed a little bit of the clothes, but honestly, you can't tell. The result is very good. So it's one of the attractive tools available on this device. And another feature that also comes included in the artificial intelligence of these devices is called AI Extend, which somehow allows you to imagine what would be around your photograph. Then you could improve the framing, make it as if you had captured the picture from further away, and in this way see that the artificial intelligence will imagine what would be around to fill all these empty spaces. Remember, it requires internet connection, so it takes a little bit of time, but notice the difference. This was the original photo, and without knowing what's around, the device imagines, and this way it can fill in. The truth looks interesting and also brings the function that I mentioned, quick capture, when you have some movements. Then it can also become an important attraction. As you can see, at first it seemed a little more swept and then it makes some correction. So that's with respect to this model. Let's move on to the next one. Well, earlier I forgot to mention and show you the colors in which it is available. As you can see, it also comes with this two-tone finish. It is something that TECNO is implementing in its devices. Now yes, let's go to the next one. Finally, this is the TECNO Camon 40. I had told you that there were 4 members, but I was getting confused. There are 3 members, and anyway, it is also seen to have a good quality screen. It is an AMOLED panel with 120 Hz in its refresh rate, then it looks good quality on your screen. The front camera is of 32 megapixels, and in this case in the back we are going to find a camera of 50 megapixels main, and also camera ultra wide 8 megapixels. Then we do not see cameras as advanced as those we saw in the Premier model, but anyway, I think they can get to give us a good experience. The maximum zoom is 10x, and with respect to video recording, we will find 2K as maximum quality in this model. Unlike the Premier model that recorded in 4K with the front camera, we will also find 2K as maximum resolution. The battery has a capacity of 5,200 mAh with support for charging 45 watts, just like the Pro model, and in this case, bets on a completely straight design on the front. There will be versions of 256 or 128 gigabytes of storage, and in both cases we find 16 gigabytes of RAM. Finally, the processor is the MediaTek Helio G100 Ultimate, then also confirms us that it will be a not too powerful device. In fact, the whole series seems to sacrifice a little on the processor. But the rest of features are remarkably advanced especially taking into account that it will also integrate all these artificial intelligence features that we had seen a moment ago. Although probably most or all of them will work with internet connection. And these are the colors that are available. Note that they also arrive with this sort of embossing for the camera module, but in the blue color edition we don't see a two-tone cover, while in this gray edition we do see one sort of two-tone, with one area slightly lighter and another as textured to the eye, but to the touch completely smooth. So well, for the moment this has been all regarding this TECNO Camon 40 series. Let me know which model you find more attractive. Surely at some point we will have some of these models for a more detailed review. This was just a first look. I hope you liked it. If you did, you know you can let me know, and see you next time.